Stephane Tartaglia. I'm Mitch Garvis. I'd like to welcome you to Passion for Cigars. And wait,
I don't see any cigars.
there are no cigars here, but you know there's more to the hobby of and the passion of smoking than just cigars.
There is.
We have pipes as well.
We are brothers of the leaf.
That's right. The leaf is tobacco.
Correct.
We're going to leave cigarettes out of it for the equation.
Yes.
But we have different types of pipes for different types of events, environments, tastes.
Yes.
And we have from the simplest pipes to the most ornate, from the shortest to the longest. And we're not going to really discuss what the difference is and all of that today. We'll get to that later on.
Yeah, today we'll just do a quick and dirty on how to pack and light your pipe and have a successful smoke.
Wonderful. Now, what kind of pipe do you have in your hand there?
I'm holding what's called a bent sitter. This is a pipe made of briar wood. It's a bent sitter because the shaft is bent and it will stand on its own.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
That's what we call the wonders of live TV.
Yes! But bent sitter versus, this is a billiard style pipe. This is one of the ones I've made myself.
That is a sexy pipe.
It is. Here we have a meerschaum pipe, which is made from stone. What else do we have? We have, this is a simple, straight, turned on the lathe pipe made by me out of honey locust. Very simple, very easy. It's got a little condom at the end so you don't have to bite on the wood. Down here we have a Gandalf style pipe, long curved stem, deep bowl. Made from maple burl and stained.
It is gorgeous. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that before there were cigarettes and before there were cigars,
There were pipes.
there were pipes. Tobacco originated, and the burning of tobacco leaves for the aroma originated as a religious ceremony, and it was done by the priests of the old Cohiba tribes and the Taíno tribes in Cuba and later the other islands and later the mainland of North America, before anyone ever said, hey, I can do that too.
Mm-hmm.
So they would smoke their pipe. So why don't you show me? Now, I've been smoking cigars for many, many years. I've tried pipes, I have a couple of pipes, but I've never really learned how to smoke it, so I've never gotten used to it. Why don't you show me? Now, I'm going to smoke my beautiful estate meerschaum pipe, and you're going to smoke your briar.
I'm going to smoke my briar bent sitter.
All right.
Consequently made by Bladder & Bladder here in Montreal. You need to start with tobacco. So let's open up our little jar of tobacco here. We've got just enough for 2 half bowls. Now, I'm going to take my bowl, and you're going to reach in, and you're going to grab a pinch of tobacco. And you're going to drop that tobacco into your bowl. And then you're going to take your finger, and as though you were shaking a child's hand, your first pack should be very light. I'm going to go for a second pinch. I'm going to drop that pinch in. I'm going to tap it with my finger, and this time, imagine you're shaking a woman's hand. A little bit harder. Seat it in there. And then I'm going to go for a third pinch. And this, you will pack as though you were shaking a man's hand. And you're not going to push down on it super hard, but you're going to push down just hard enough so that it compresses a little bit. The next step is test your draw. You want to have a small amount of resistance on your draw. And I do not have enough resistance. So I have a choice of using my finger to push it down a little harder, or I can use a tamping tool and push it down. Test your draw again.
That is a very simple tamping tool. We also have more ornate tamping tools, but really it's just anything that presses down.
You can use your finger.
And I see here resistance is futile. It's perfect.
Okay, I need just a bit more resistance. That's perfect now.
All right.
So now
We're done.
we're done. We're ready to smoke.
Okay. Oh, right. We need fire.
We need fire. Our choice for lighting today is going to be a butane lighter.
Now this is going to be a soft flame rather than
Soft
the
flame. You
hard
do not want to use a torch to light your pipe with because you will burn the wood on the pipe. This is butane, but it has a soft flame, and if you notice, this one has the flame coming out the side of it. It's designed specifically for lighting pipes.
Okay.
So I will now take it in my mouth, and what we do, two lights. We do the char light, and then we do the actual light. The char light is just a quick draw in while the flame is on it. Pull the flame away when you're not drawing in. I'll do that 2 or 3 times. Give it a few puffs. I'll let you do yours.
Thank you.
Now the reason you do a char light is because as you light, the tobacco will want to open up. So you do your char light, and then you come back and you tamp it back down again to push down that char.
This one you might not want to do with your finger because there is now live fire in here.
But if you're a man, you'll use your finger.
Aye.
Now you're ready for your actual light. So I will take it, draw with the flame in, pull the flame out when you're not drawing. Do that 3 or 4 times. Until you get ample smoke. And we are lit. And as you can see, we're getting great smoke and great flavor out of it. We are smoking Lane Limited, RLP number 6. This is actually a blending tobacco.
Okay, and where is this from?
This was actually sent to me by a friend in Alabama.
Okay. Now I am tasting, this is very different from smoking a cigar.
It is. This is a flavored tobacco. Now, see, I've gone out, and there's nothing wrong with your pipe going out. I will light again. Vanilla. We're getting lots of vanilla.
Definitely very sweet. And this tastes wonderful. I will mention that pipes, unlike cigars, have to be cleaned. So I bought this as an estate pipe. This is an antique pipe from many years ago. A friend of a friend sold it off during a recent estate sale.
Yeah.
And because it's a meerschaum pipe, we don't clean it the same way as we would a briar pipe.
Absolutely.
But each one has different ways of keeping them clean.
And you should be cleaning your pipe every 1 or 2 times you use it. Not a thorough clean, but just clean out the bowl, pass pipe cleaners through the stem and into the bottom. Just keep it drawing properly.
Now, I sometimes, when I notice that I'm losing my flame, will put my thumb over it, because that will give me a lot less airflow and concentrate it so it keeps the cigar, the smoke or the tobacco smoldering.
Yes.
And gives you a better way to save it.
Yes. Now, one thing, as you're smoking your pipe, the draw is going to get loose.
And it's going to lose.
So what you do is frequently, or as frequent as necessary, you just push that ash down. You're not pushing down hard, you're just taking that ash and pushing it down until you feel resistance. And that just keeps you going. You always want to have that little bit of resistance.
So I know that you have here many different types of pipes, but there are really thousands upon thousands
Oh
of
my
different
God.
varieties.
There are as many as you can imagine.
Different woods, different shapes, and different lengths. I know some people will keep certain pipes for aromatic tobaccos, certain pipes for non-aromatic tobaccos,
That could be a whole other discussion.
and we will. But we also discussed off camera that people will use cheaper, almost disposable pipes to test tobacco to see if they like it
Yeah.
before they put it into either their aromatic or non-aromatic pipe.
They do, and very often these are what we call corn cob pipes, which are actually made from corn cobs.
Yeah.
And you can get these simple cob pipes very inexpensively, and it's a good way to test the tobacco, and then if you like it or not like it, whatever, you can toss the pipe afterwards and decide which of your good pipes you are going to smoke that tobacco in.
Now, the different shapes of the bowl and the different sizes of the bowl, I noticed this one is probably about a 54 ring gauge, if I were measuring it in 64th of an inch like we do for cigars.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are deeper and some of them, I mean this one I think I could actually go for a swim in there.
Yeah.
This one is literally almost an inch and a half deep. Is there a difference in the experience in the smoke based on the size of the bowl?
Not at all.
How about the shape of the bowl?
The shape of the bowl inside are almost always the same. They have straight sides with a conical bottom. The shape on the outside does not denote what the shape on the inside is. The inside of the bowl is straight, like I said, a curved bottom. Depending on how deep it is or how wide it is, just tells you how much tobacco you'll be able to fit in there and how long you'll be able to smoke your pipe for.
And when we look in here, I actually see the orange embers.
Absolutely.
You don't have to see that. You
No.
don't have to look at it even. But it is like having your lit cherry on a cigar.
Mm-hmm.
So you see that it is lit. And that is really, really nice.
It is very nice, and it's very relaxing too.
Now, I want you to tell me, we weren't going to discuss anything but the basics.
Yes.
In a little while, we're going to talk about how to finish a pipe. But this stand, which holds 15 or 16 pipes,
16 pipes.
this is absolutely amazing. And I know that you made this as a custom job for a friend of ours. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
He wanted a circular pipe stand to hold as many pipes as possible. I made this out of black walnut and African blackwood for the finial and the center stand. There are 16 holes around. It will hold 16 pipes, and it will even hold jars of tobacco inside if you want to.
Now, these jars are literally small little mason jars.
These are mason jars, yeah.
You don't have to buy these in a pipe and cigar store.
No.
You can buy them at the dollar store, and there's going to be no difference.
No difference. Dollar store, Walmart, Canadian Tire.
As long as it keeps your seal.
Yeah, because you need to use a fresh cap. It's got a rubber seal on it, and what it does is it keeps the humidity because your tobacco needs to be humid. You cannot smoke dry tobacco, it will taste disgusting.
Now, are we going to store these jars in a humidity controlled environment like we do our cigars?
If you're storing long term, you can, but they also sell humidity packets that you can put into each one of these jars to keep each individual jar humidified properly.
Now, let me ask you another question. And these are just opinions, really. Let me put your logo back up here because I really do love seeing Tartaglia's turnings up there. I have tried to smoke cheaper pipes, and I'm now smoking a very ornate, expensive pipe. This is the first ornate, expensive pipe I've ever had. And I seem to think that I'm having an easier time smoking this than I have with the cheaper pipes. Is there a difference?
There is no difference. It's how the pipe is made. You can have a very expensive pipe that is very hard to smoke. It depends on how the hole is made, how your connection between your bowl and your shaft is at the bottom, how deep your bowl is, how high up that hole is. I have a very inexpensive pipe. It cost me, I think, $15 that I use as a daily smoke, and it smokes absolutely fantastic. It's my go-to pipe just because it doesn't go out often, I don't have to pack it often, and then you can get up to super expensive pipes where they're more difficult, they're more finicky. So no, there is no relation between an inexpensive pipe and an expensive pipe as to how they burn, how they perform.
Okay. Now, if you were to take a pipe like this one,
Yes.
we've just finished smoking it, it's wonderful. how would you clean it for storage?
Well, I'm going to set this down. You're going to take your pipe. You finish smoking it, whether you've finished all of your tobacco or not. You will take it on your ashtray.
I was hoping to see a pipe cleaner there, but I don't actually see
Oh,
one.
they're up there. I'll get them in a second.
Okay.
You take it, tap it out,
Break everything.
break everything. That's not supposed to happen.
Why don't we put this
Why don't we
down
put
there
this
for
down
now?
and we edit out. I had to do that back in. That's my fault. I'm glad that happened now,
Not
not
when,
later.
not when Stephane had it.
Let's set it
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get the stuff we need since we're here. We have the pick.
So I'm going to start again from.
Okay.
So Stephane, we have smoked our pipe. We're going to put it aside, and before we put it aside, because I may smoke it again in an hour, but I also may not smoke it for a day, a week, a month. How am I going to clean it before putting it aside?
Well, there's a few things you have to do between each bowl. The very least, you need to tap out your ash. So on the corner of your ashtray, tap out your ash. Take a look if there's anything still left inside. I'm using my cigar pick, but they have pipe tools for that.
Here is my pipe tool that you will see
Scrape it
literally
around.
as a scraper.
Yeah, scrape it around, tap it out again, check. I usually give a blow, make sure there's nothing left in there. And then what I like to do after each pipe, some people after every 2 pipes, 3 pipes, take your stem off, pull it apart, grab a pipe cleaner, and go through it. Pull it out the backside so you're not pushing the oils back in. And then I'll take the opposite side of my pipe cleaner and I'll go into my hole, making sure I'm getting right into the bowl of the pipe. And clean it out, put it back together, and you're ready for your next smoke. Now, that being said you might want to smoke your pipe again in an hour. Meerschaum pipe you can do that with. Generally, wood-based pipes, you will only want to smoke them once or twice a day because there is humidity in tobacco when you burn. Fire creates water vapor.
Sure.
And a good pipe will absorb that water vapor so that you're not getting a gurgling in the bottom of your pipe. And you want that to dry out before you smoke your pipe again, which is why people tend to have several pipes. And if they're going to have 3 or 4 pipes in a day, they'll smoke 3 or 4 different pipes.
Okay. Now, I know that we have a friend, Pat Russell, who recently moved to New Zealand, and before he did, he had a contest for people to guess how many pipes he had.
Yes.
And I think he holds the record. I guessed 37. He had 73 pipes.
Can I have the pipe later, please?
Absolutely.
73 pipes, eh?
So he was able to smoke 1 pipe every 15 minutes all day without a problem.
It's great tobacco.
It really is. You're going to have to get some more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know just like cigars where there are vintages, the same is true of pipe tobaccos. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Pipe tobaccos, again, like you said, the same as cigars. Tobacco ages. A lot of people will buy tins of tobacco and will sit on them for many, many years before they will smoke them. Does tobacco change with age? Yes. Does pipe tobacco change with age? Yes. If it's stored properly and if it's maintained. And a vintage tobacco, like a cigar, will tend to mellow with time. This is just a generalization, but yes, vintage tobaccos are more sought after. I have a friend who has a 102-year-old unopened tin of pipe tobacco.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we're not looking at tins. I went to a store recently and I bought this whiskey aromatic tobacco, and they just took it out of a jar and put it into a baggie for me.
And that's good for a couple of days. If you plan on sitting on that for a long time, you need to transfer it into a more hermetically sealed format.
Aha. Like our mason jar.
like our mason jars.
Okay, so these aren't going to be as easy to age because when a product is created, somebody puts a date on it. But when it's transferred from one to another, we're not going to have that date. So this tobacco could be from last week, last month, last year.
Yes.
But we're not going to have a 102-year-old baggie of tobacco.
You'll have a 102-year-old baggie of fire starter.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much for this lesson. It's been great. One more thing I want to discuss. You'll notice if we look at these two different pipes, this is a smooth finish, and this one has all sorts of holes. Now, it's a design that's not broken. It's the way it was designed, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But when you have a pipe, some people will take the pipe and dip it into the bag or jar of tobacco and scoop it in.
Yes.
That is fine with a smooth pipe.
finish.
You never want to do that with the holes because cleaning out, I have never counted how many holes there are here, but cleaning out one by one is, shall we say, cumbersome.
Yes, absolutely.
So we don't want to do that. I also noticed, by the way, that this is getting a little bit warm. It's not hot, uncomfortable.
A pipe will get warm. You are out.
Yeah.
If a pipe gets hot, you're smoking it too fast.
Aha.
And you risk burning a hole in your pipe, or at the very least creating voids. Wrong side.
Yes.
That's a dual lighter.
So I want to make sure that if it's warm, it's fine, but if it's hot,
Slow down.
put it down, slow it down.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, especially with a antique meerschaum pipe, you don't want to do that because you will break it.
You will break it.
You were also telling me earlier that I don't want to smoke this when it's too cold outside.
No, a meerschaum pipe is a stone, and if it needs to be at room temperature. The pipe needs to be room temperature, and you need to smoke it at room temperature. You do not smoke a cold pipe, and you do not take that pipe outside to smoke it in the cold.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much. This has been great. Stephane Tartaglia, I'm Mitch Garvis. Thank you very much for watching.
Cheers.